Good day. Good day. What's wrong with that start?
Nothing, I just haven't heard it for a while. So hello, g'day, welcome.
Hello, Mr. Gowers. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, my friend?
Blessed to be near the water.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Down here at Cullen Bay today, live on location.
Live at the Boatshed.
Yeah. Yeah, Boatshed. That's right.
Not Boathouse.
The boathouse.
Shout out to Rose. Rose.
Not allowed to call it the boathouse. It's the Boatshed.
Yeah.
Although I see no shed. So
No, there's definitely no shed.
anyway,
Hello.
it is what it is. Hello there. It's truly live and unscripted.
Absolutely. We're right here on Cullen Bay Marina.
And as you know, it's a major thoroughfare for people on foot. So we're just going to say hello to anyone that walks past, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
why wouldn't you?
why wouldn't you? Welcome back.
So we got some feedback last week from the previous video we did on location
Ah, yes.
out at Casuarina Beach.
De la Plage.
And thank you for your kind words. One was in relation to the fact that clearly it looked like we'd spent some money on some beautiful Shure microphones, but perhaps we needed to spend a bit of money on the connections because we had one rigged up with the cable ties. Now there was a reason for that,
Right.
and I could show it to you, but I can't do it now. But there's a tiny little thing which attaches to the tripod, and that little connection connects to the bottom of the microphone, and we only had one on that day. And that's the reason why we rigged it up with. And what you didn't see was a cunning plan that also involved a lot of blue tack going into the base of the mic stand. But anyway, thank you for your feedback. It's amazing. You put out beautiful videos with wonderful content about what people should do in relation to real estate. And the majority of the comments you get are about the cable ties that are rigging up your microphone.
Absolutely. Isn't that how it works?
Anyway, more tips.
Speed matters. Speed matters.
It does, and we're not talking about the illegal substance that often gets shut down in the nightclub scene. We're talking about in relation to real estate sales, and in particular purchasing properties. Because how many times have you seen it where Mr. and Mrs. Blogs, we'll go back to Billy and his wife, they come to an open, they indicate that they like it, they seem to have done all their preparation with regards to...
They've come to the open home on the weekend, and this was about 5 weeks ago in Parab. They've checked out the property. They like it.
Got their finance sorted.
And then I thought, I'll give them a follow-up call the following week. They call me. They said, Pete, I want to put an offer of that unit. I'm like, where were you, Danielle?
Yeah.
It's not available.
Yeah, Danielle's just a name we've inserted, not a real person.
Actually, is a real person.
Oh, okay. It is a real person.
She.
So, and, you know, how many times... So, I'm going to give you the counter to that, right? Because I met with a young lady a few months ago, and I've told this story in another video, and she was most annoyed because every time she would say to an agent, oh, has there been much interest?
Yeah.
They'd say to her, oh, you better put in an offer because I've got another offer coming, right?
Yeah,
Which
well,
is
you got to be careful.
real estate talk for most likely rubbish. So where we say speed matters is if you find a place you like, if you've checked it out, your partner's checked it out,
Tick some of your boxes.
the decision makers in your life have checked it out, you've ticked all the boxes, you've got your pre-approval on your finance, you might have even had an inspection or two done, depending on the type of property it is. And you like it and you're ready to go. What are you waiting for?
Well, he's going to sleep on it over the weekend.
Right. Well,
And then don't you end up like Danielle?
you often can end up like Danielle. If you want to sleep on the weekend, no problems. Just remember, and we have talked about this previously, even if you put in an offer, it's accepted,
Sign a contract.
you sign a contract,
Pay the deposit.
you pay a deposit, everything's exchanged,
Yeah.
you've still got 4 days to change your mind for any reason you might think like. And that's 4 business days.
Yeah, that's 4 business days.
And you've got the backup of, even if you like it, you're still committed to buying it, something doesn't go quite right in the report stage, you've also got that as a recourse. So this is not to say buy it at all costs, even if it's some dump you don't like. But
No.
if all the ducks are in a row, what are you waiting for? because so often we see people miss out because they
Happens all the
want
time.
to sleep on it, or I'm not sure. There's many reasons we're given.
So
but
many.
The I want to think about it is fine, and you're most entitled to do it. But how often do we see people miss out
Yeah.
in that stage?
You're better off making an offer if it feels right and having to think about it while you have the choice to have a think about it. When you've got a contract with a cooling off period that's kicked in, gives you 4, as Peter just said, gives you 4 business days to work out if you really want it,
Yep.
and then take it from there.
Yeah, and that's all.
No regrets.
By the same token, that is not recommending to put offers on 4 properties at the same time.
Don't be one of those buyers.
That's
doesn't work.
really annoying and frustrating. And how often do you see people end up with none at the end of that process?
Yeah. Again, a lot more information is available to people these days, including agents.
Yep.
We can work out when you're doing the multiple offer scenario, and simply I will tell my owners, can I not deal with them? And if my owner says you don't deal with those kind of people, we won't.
Yeah, because it's problematic.
It causes more problems for everyone involved and heartache, which is, buying a home isn't a small decision.
No, we don't want heartache for people. But just remember, speed matters.
Speed matters. I'm Peter Kafkas
I'm Peter Gowers. We're from iProperty NT
at the Boatshed.
at the Boatshed, Boathouse,
No, Boatshed.
Boatshed, and we'll see you later.
Now, Mr. Gowers, you and young Leo Loganathan are recording Territory Story this week.
Yep.
Who do you have on as guests?
So this week we have a very special guest, actually, a lady by the name of Taylor Peters.
Okay.
Taylor Peters is born and bred here in Darwin.
Yep.
And she founded, I think is the right way of putting it, a concept called a walk to remember.
Yeah. Like a charity, is it?
Yeah,
like,
sort of. Yeah, it's just
Foundation.
it was set up through what was known as SIDS and Kids NT,
Oh, yeah.
and is now known as Amber NT. And due to circumstances in her family, she got involved with SIDS and Kids as a 12-year-old.
Yep.
And at the time she was asked, what is something that would make a difference in her life, and she sort of verbalized the fact that she wanted to do something of meaning and something that could help families to remember, loved ones who they'd lost. And she came up with this idea. So we've got her on the midweek podcast.
Yeah, so that is, when does that go live, do you think?
It goes live on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tomorrow night, yeah.
the weekly episodes are always on a Wednesday, and then the weekends are always on a Saturday. And of course,
Weekends with Walshy.
later in the week we'll have Chris Walsh from the NT Independent come in to chat to us with Weekends with Walshy.
Anything?
Who knows?
Any sneak
Who
peeks you can
knows?
give us for
I
this
never
weekend?
find out until we go to record, and then all hell
Damn.
breaks loose.
That is a great show. If you haven't listened to Weekends with Walshy with the boys, great little podcast and a great little listen.
It's certainly interesting and keeps us on our toes, that's for sure.
Yes, the ban on the NT Independent is absolutely no worries, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, well.
Don't you say anything. All right, Mr. Gowers.
Yo.
I'm sure throughout the years you've had many of youngsters come up to you and say, I want to get into real estate.
Yeah.
So, and I still get messages, right up to today. How do I get into it? I want to come work. How do we do it? So I thought today we'd just talk about a little bit about what it involves to get into the industry from my perspective and your perspective, and what you could expect when you get into the industry. Because unlike, when I joined Mick Smith First National,
Yeah.
I thought I was going to make $1 million the first year. But that didn't happen for a very, 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 very long time.
Well, technically you can, but yeah, often there's a bit of a pipe dream being sold. I don't think we were selling that, were we?
No, not at all. But
I hope we're being
it's
realistic.
a general consensus when you go to the larger, old school franchise firm where they promise you the world and they take 99% of your commission.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the first thing you got to do if you want to get into real estate,
Are you ready for this?
It's pretty straightforward, boring, and you're not going to want to hear it. But you got to study. You got to do the course.
You got to get a license.
And there's multiple ways you can do that, and it would have changed since our time.
It has changed.
But you used to be able to at least you do this little one-off course to start with.
An interim sort of registration.
Yeah, and you basically got to prove that you got a broad knowledge.
It used to be a 2-week course where you just learn some basic
Just
stuff.
learn stuff. Yep.
And you get an interim. You have to go work for someone.
Yeah. Well,
Under someone.
Yeah, but you got to pass the license first.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, of course.
I think you had to get 80% or better.
Don't remember, but you had to do a certain amount.
On the interim exam. If you get the interim license, you can then work for an agent, which is what 90% of real estate agents that you would call do anyway.
Yeah.
They're agents representatives.
Agents representatives.
Right.
So,
and your interim license lets you do everything that an agent's representative can do. So you can list property, you can sell, you can advertise, do all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
However, in theory, you're sort of in training, so you're under the guidance of
the principal or the
licensee. And at the same time, it's really important to note, because most forget to do it and they all do it the last minute to try and get through. You've got to then complete your full agent's representative's license while you're holding an interim. And you've got, I think, 12 months to do that. So don't start studying after 11 months and 15 days. If you just do it slowly but surely through the year, you'll get through. It is not difficult. It is a study of competency.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just to show that you know what it is that you're studying and that you understand how to, work ethically and list and sell and advertise. And
so there's an interim registration.
Yep.
There's your registration as a agent's representative.
Yep.
And then there's a diploma after that.
Yeah, which after the diploma,
license.
then you are a real estate agent.
Yeah,
right?
sorry, after you.
Yeah, once you got your diploma, you're a real estate agent. The majority of people working in real estate in the Northern Territory, who are often mistakenly called real estate agents, they're actually agents representatives.
Yes, so correct.
Meaning they can do everything normal, they just don't own the agency and they're not the principal or licensee.
Well,
so they can't actually run that agency because the diploma, the extra units are teaching you how to run a business and run an agency and the management side of things.
Yep.
Trust accounting.
Yeah. Oh, let's get to that. But there
Everyone's
it is. So
favourite.
if you want to join a real estate agency, you've got to look into the REINT's courses or alternative.
Yep.
Do a little bit of study.
Yep.
Call up a couple of agencies who see which best fits your needs.
Yep.
And then hit the ground running and applying.
Yeah, and I'll give you a heads up. They've just nationalised
what
a lot of the study units around the country now.
Recently, very recently.
Very recently,
right,
yeah.
Right.
So as a result, you can study, for example, in South Australia.
Yeah.
And whatever certificate you achieve there will be recognised here in the Northern Territory, and you just have to submit your paperwork and they call it mutual recognition.
Mutual recognition.
So you'll be able to get a local licence for doing what you need to do here, as well as your original one. And that's, I think, all states except New South Wales, I think.
Okay.
I think, I think possibly because you've got to pay some corrupt organisation in New South Wales. I have no idea why I made that up. But yeah, for some reason I think they're the only one that they don't mutually recognise. But do you remember back in the day when we used to study the agents reps course in the Northern Territory?
This is back in the day.
All of the material came from the Real Estate Institute of Queensland.
Oh, yeah.
None of it was REINT branded. It was all REIQ. But then I found out also that someone, I can say this. This is publicly known. So Leon Logan Nathan at Ward Keller.
Oh, yeah. I heard of that fella.
He's registered, obviously, in the Northern Territory as a lawyer.
Yes.
But his degree is from
Queensland.
University of Queensland, and he's never set foot on the...
He's a smart boy, and he's never even been there.
They used to fly the people up here. So, yeah, it's not uncommon, but now I think the REINT has its own study material.
Yeah.
So go and check it out.
There it is. That's what it involves to start.
It's not difficult. It's not hard. If you weren't good at school, don't worry, because we weren't either.
No, he's not smart.
And it's quite straightforward. It's just learning the ins and outs of what we do, how to sell, how to list.
There it is.
Be a buyer's agent if you're so inclined.
I just want to know how to get into it, man.
Just call the REINT, damn it.
Thank you. Thank you, Gowers. I appreciate that.
No worries. See ya.